Welcome to Tyrompers No Limit Podcast.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Thank you so much for tuning in to Tyrompers No Limit Podcast. Boys and girls, we got a treat for you today. We're very fired up. This is a young man that probably looks like he's 37 on screen. He's actually 58 years young, and we need to see maybe some receipts on that, see a driver's license. We'll see, but he is now in the best shape of his life, completely transformed his life from a couple years ago. This is a man that was sedentary, on meds, and in his words, letting life happen and on the way to an early grave until one committed decision changed it all. He's into intermittent fasting, lifting, trail running. He helps others and coaches them live their best life too. This is a man that I tried to get on the podcast for about 3 weeks, but because he's a jacked 58-year-old and he's dating, we had to reschedule a few times. He's got all these women chasing him, so we're going to talk about that a little today. This is my brother. He's a champion, a beast, a guy that I really admire. Scott Sinclair, welcome to the pod, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, bud. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, man. Well, dude, I remember we've talked so much about, you're kind of this like overweight, sedentary. What kind of happened with you, man? And maybe give people kind of an introduction to who you are a little bit, and then kind of talk about how that one thing kind of flipped for you.
Well, so, I had 3 boys and a girl. So with 3 boys, we stayed pretty active during their youth. We played baseball for 17 years. I helped coach that. They all grow up and they all leave the house eventually. So we're just sitting around empty nesting. I just let myself go a little bit. So, I wasn't as active anymore. Didn't really have anybody to be active with. So I was sitting, we made a trip to San Diego for my younger son. He went to the Marines and we went for Marine graduation. So we got some pictures from it and all that. And I've shared it online a lot, so me in a big red shirt. So I was sitting at the house one day looking at that picture and I'm like, man, that's me. I mean, I'm like, I don't picture myself that way. I don't feel that way. So I'd always worked out on and off throughout my life because, got active boys. So I knew what to do, but I never did really get my diet right. So I made a committed decision to go ahead and get my diet right. That was February the 2nd. I'm not exactly sure what year it was, about 4 years ago. And it really changed my life. Kind of take the easy wins first. You cut your sugar, cut your alcohol, cut your breads, get a food scale, a measuring cup, start eating proper portions. I've been prepping my lunch, but I was eating too much of it. So really, that really just really got me started and lost about 25, 30 pounds fairly quickly. And then I kind of plateaued. And I was online, like Cynthia Thurlow, Josiah Nevlak. They started talking about intermittent fasting. I said, well, so that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So I kind of got into that, and from that point, it's just kind of became an elimination diet. Instead of eating a healthy snack, just cut snacks. Mm-hmm. So I was able to retrain my body and metabolism to not have to eat every couple hours. So now it's just a small lunch. I eat most of my calories in the evening, high protein meals. And I lost so much weight, I almost couldn't stop losing weight. So I got down to about 180, and I'm like, well, okay, I got to do something here. So I started eating probably more than I needed just to try to maintain. Kind of went back up to 190. I've been there for a couple of years, just trying to build muscle, working out, going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, running when I can on the trails. This summer it's been so hot, so I haven't been out as much. We've had triple-digit temperatures for months. So, so kind of back going down again now, just back down about 180, trying to cut up a little bit. So and it's been a great, it's really opened my eyes because I was on meds. I had a really bad reflux, high blood pressure, those kind of things, and cholesterol issues. But ever since I've changed my body, it changed me internally also. The confidence you get from the looks you get from younger women, you can't beat that. Before they wouldn't give me a second glance, but now, you get noticed, you get treated a little bit differently, which is kind of vain, and I don't, it's not something I try to, something I look forward to, I guess, but it is kind of nice. So, it's just
why a lot of people start. That's why I started in a gym. I got my heart broken and, a decade ago, divorced and cheated on. I thought, well, I weigh 149 pounds. I'm going to put on some muscle, and that was my main motivation behind it. But I think the cool thing about the gym is once you start to see the physical transformation, those become secondary. Now, if I got no physical benefit, I'd go for my mind, for my spirit every day. And I think you've seen that too. Yeah. For anybody out there watching this on YouTube right now, I'm going to put up a picture right here of Scott, the before and after. So we're going to add that real quick so people can see that. I mean, when I'm looking at that, it just doesn't even look like the same man. And so you're saying it, because I know you talk about this a lot. It's just practical, easy steps, right? Like,
Yes, for
and
sure.
intermittent fasting was a highlight for me. Shout out to Cynthia Thurlow too, because
Yeah.
you do realize, man, humans, we don't need to be eating every 2 hours. We don't need to be snacking like we do. And so when you
We're
start,
programmed to do that.
that's right.
Yeah.
Especially in office life, man. There's snacks everywhere. It's just part of the day to kind of grab that stuff, right? So when you first started making those kind of easy wins, did you notice your energy changing, or when did you kind of full on commit and start going back to the gym, or did you do that right away too?
Well, so kind of right away, we kind of joined the gym, and you're so self-conscious about going back to the gym. I mean, so we joined the gym. So I'm like, okay, I want to go work out today. I get dressed, get my truck, I go by the gym, I just drive by. I was I didn't have the confidence to go in. And I finally just had to sock myself up and just go in, because you're going in, got this big belly, um, you're going to get eyes on you. They're going to look at you. Oh, well, he's just another one of these guys that joined the gym first of the year. He'll be gone in a month. Man, it's been 4 years. I'm still there. So,
I love that, man. I'm super proud of you. I think, I dealt with it too, because I had a lot of anxiety and I was on anxiety meds. And when I first started going back like 4.5 years ago, maybe 5 now, I remember driving to the gym parking lot multiple times, parking my car and not going in. I even remember 2 times in particular where I walked in the door, I opened it and I saw a bunch of ripped dudes or, shredded people in there, and I turned around and left without doing it. I just felt that self-conscious. I don't know why humans do that. I think now that I've been in the gym, everybody wants to help you. If you just
yes.
kind of be nice to people, I've noticed the biggest jacked dudes are the ones that are like, oh, hey man, I'll give you a hand at that. I'll give you a spot. They'll give you encouragement. They're wanting you to be there too,
Yeah. I see the people that were like me when I first started going down. Man, I'll pump them up. I'll show them my pictures. I'm like, man, you're such an inspiration to me,
Yeah.
so, and just keep going. Yeah.
That's awesome. And well, how's it changed your life? Because you talked about you've kind of got off meds now, or at least tapered those down, or
Yeah, I mean, all my labs start coming back normal. I don't have the reflux anymore. High cholesterol runs a little bit in my family, so it's a little bit higher than normal, but I don't have to take meds for it anymore. I don't have any issues really. So, I'm putting doctors out of business, and I work for a hospital. So, and I'm okay with that.
I think if they're a good doctor, they're okay with that too, right?
Yeah. And like I say, one of the biggest bumps you get is mentally and confidence. You just feel so much better about yourself. You feel so much younger. I had 2 grandsons when I started, and now I have a third. They're growing up, they're getting into grade school, they're into sports. When Paw comes over, they want to get on the floor and wrestle. That's my jam, dude. I got to do that. I want to be there for them. I want to be able to have fun with them. I don't want to be the grandpa that's sitting on the couch going, "Oh, y'all go ahead." So
Yeah,
that's
like back in my day, I would have been doing that with
oh
you.
yeah, but my day is now. At 58 years old, I feel like I'm in my 30s, and I even act like it sometimes, and which is not a bad thing. So you got to keep yourself young, and one of my life mottos is find things you like to do and do those things more often. And you'll never be bored. You'll never be unhappy. You got to make life interesting, man. So
I love that, man. I think, one of my favorite tweets you ever put out, Scott, was when you showed a picture of you wrestling with your grandboys. And I mean, here you are, a year and a half, so you'll be 60. And I think a lot of people in our society think, oh man, when you hit 60, it's just, you're just kind of waiting to die, right? Like it's all about how you take care of yourself up to that though. Because, I look at my folks who are 65, I called my dad on his birthday. I couldn't even get a hold of him. He didn't have cell reception. He's hiking up a mountain with my mom, in Colorado. And
I love it.
Here he'll strap he'll strap his grandsons who weigh 28 pounds each to his chest and hike 6-7 miles and get out and play with them all day. And so for you to have those opportunities and to do that, I hope that inspires other people, because dude, if you had kept going on that same track you were at, there's not a chance in heck you could have been doing that, right?
Right. Yeah. So my dad was a really fit guy, actually his older sister just turned 94 yesterday or Friday night. So yeah. So he would have been, he had Alzheimer's and passed away about 10 years ago. But if he hadn't had that issue, he'd still be kicking. He'd be, I owed it to him, I owed it to my grandkids, I owed it to my family and myself, to try to Just maintain. It's not that hard. It seems like it's hard, and everybody says, "Oh, it's so hard," and they don't want to try it. But man, you got to do hard things sometimes. Because once you do the hard thing, then life is so much easier. And I don't know if that really clicks with a lot of people, but man, life is so much easier these days. So.
Yeah, it's much harder. And one thing you allude to too that I want to get into is, we joke a lot. I joke on the channel a lot about how, the guru says you got to meditate 3 hours every morning. Well, what? That might work for that guru who doesn't have a job or a family, but like that ain't working for me, And one thing you and I talk about a little bit is, the morning routine and the get up and some of that stuff doesn't really work for you, but you found what works for you. And can you kind of talk through your system of that and what kind of daily habits and things do you do or weekly routines do you kind of set you up for success that maybe other people could learn from?
Well, I'm in bed every day about 10 o'clock. So I get up at 5. I've been getting up at 5 in the morning for years. I've tried getting up and journaling and reading the Bible and praying and writing all this. I can't do that. I got to have my coffee first. And it takes about an hour to drink all my coffee. And I just sit and chill. And it's kind of a quiet time for me where I can just reflect and try to get myself pumped up for the day. I work in a hospital. We're super busy. Of course, we've been going through COVID and all that. And I'm a fairly small department. We've got a regional system, 7 hospitals, 50 clinics spread out over a 100-mile radius. And it's just me and a couple of guys. So we, in our department, so we keep us pretty running quite a bit. So I just get up in the morning. I leave work about 6:30, get there at 7. There's no telling where I'm going that day. We do what we do. And I get off at 4. I change clothes to my gym clothes in my office, head out the door, hit the gym, at least 3-4 times a week, or go to the state park, which is only like 15 miles away. They got like 12 miles of trails and a bunch of hills. Love to walk and run, So and then go home, try to feed myself. So it's probably 8:30 before I eat supper. Then another downtime, kind of relax and chill till bedtime, and just do it all over again. So it works for me. So you can be a little bit of a high achiever. You don't have to get up in the morning and meditate forever, do all that.
Yeah, I like that. What you alluded to even in the beginning is what works for you. And I think that's where some people get hung up thinking, I got to go 6 days a week, or I got, you sound like you have some grace with yourself too. Hey, some days I just go walk on the trails, some days for me, I'll be honest, today is day 56 of 75 hard and I'm beat up. I got shin splints. I'm so sore. And so my first workout was just honestly mostly stretching. And my second workout's going to be an easy walk, Yeah. Some days I'm going at it real hard. I think you're probably like, but some days you just got to show up. You just got to keep the ball rolling, and you keep that consistency. And I think that's a really good takeaway for a lot of people listening out there is you found things that you love. Walking in nature, going to state parks, hitting the gym a few times, but you enjoy those things. So it's easy to do them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then still using intermittent fasting, it's easy. So I'm not always trying to eat something. I'm not feeling dragged in the day, sugar loaded. I don't do breakfast or donuts and pastries and all that stuff. You just don't keep them in the house. I live by myself now. So you just don't keep them in the house. So,
yeah.
So it really helps. I know that, I food prep chicken salad or a tuna salad and eat, like 5 ounces on a Ritz crackers, 5 little dollops on a cracker. And that's enough to keep me going all day with no problems at all. Plenty of energy to work out, come home, try to eat a higher protein supper, and then a bag, scoop of yogurt or 2 with some berries in it, maybe a protein scoop, just a few semi-sweet chocolate chips just to kind of get that fix out of the way so I don't crash the next day. But yeah, so it's that works for me. It may not work for everybody, but I think you can take some of that and maybe apply it to what you're doing and it'll help you. So.
I think that's awesome. And I think, if you like to dance or if you like to do yoga or if you like whatever you like, find stuff and do more of that, right? Just incorporate movement into it and be sensible with your diet. And that's pretty much, what more people need to do.
Yeah. Once you get to a point where you're comfortable with yourself, it's very easy to maintain as long as you got to keep in those tenets that got you there, so.
Yeah. That's awesome. And well, one thing I want to talk to you about too, man, is, you put a thread out lately that was kind of a really powerful thread on how you were driving down the highway one day. I think you said you had a joint in one hand and a beer between your legs.
I did, yeah.
And I think this was the height of kind of your weight had gone in a direction you didn't want. Your health was going down and something kind of clicked. Can you kind of talk us through, what was going on that day, what was going on at that point in your life, and kind of what made you to make that big change?
Well, growing up, I was the only son, youngest boy, and grew up in the late '60s, '70s. I was kind of an awkward kid. Uh, Through my youth and high school years, I kind of aged. I was a late bloomer, I guess. So when everybody's growing up, sophomore, junior year, it was my senior year before I actually grew up a little bit. So then got in with some wrong crowds. We like to drink, smoke pot, got into other drugs, probably a little bit harder. And out of high school, didn't go to college. I traveled for a living, so I lived out of a suitcase in motels for 10 years. Got off the road. It was hard to keep a girlfriend. So 28 years old, get married. We have some kids, and I'm still kind of doing some of that stuff, drinking and all that. And we actually split up early in the marriage, and one of the reconciliation points was to go to church. So I grew up in church, but hadn't been in a long time. So went, and I got to a point where God was really working on my heart, and I had to make a decision one way or the other. And I quit. I
Mm.
quit church and kept doing what I was doing. So she signed us up for a Wednesday night class, and it was real soon. I got back to that same point. I'm going to get emotional here. So so I just feel the Lord just working on me, and I know what I need to do. It's just being in that lifestyle that I was in for so many years. It's just really hard to break through. And because I've tried a million times and you just fail. So that one day in the truck, drinking a beer, smoking a joint, I just gave it to him.
Mm.
And he just touched me in a way that I've never been touched before.
Man, super powerful, man. I thank you for sharing. And Scott, I can resonate because I was kind of half in and half out for many years. And even, I'd started a self-improvement journey for a couple years, but I like to joke I was a Christian on Sunday, but who I wanted to be the other 6 days a week. I'd take the nice family photo, talk about church to the church people, but not to my other buddies who I was drinking with and things like that, and
Yeah.
I remember the day I kind of got down on my knees and just bawled for a while and just said, all right, God, I can't do this anymore. I want to be the same person in front of everybody, and I want you to be the captain of my ship. It's such a powerful time, man. And once you kind of give every area of your life to God, man, that's when the blessings and the miracles really happen. So when you kind of made that decision, can you kind of walk us through what those next steps look like? And
Yeah. So, I mean, like I say, I was in my truck and all that, and I prayed for forgiveness. I threw the joint and the beer can out the window. I had to get rid of it, right? So
then you got to let
I
her
go home,
in.
man. I go home and my whole body's just buzzing and my soul's bursting and my heart's just pumping. I'm like, God, I don't even know if this is real. I didn't know my way around the Bible. I just grabbed one and flipped it open. And it came to John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And that just so powerful.
Mm.
And ever since then, I kind of related to, before I was trying to travel from California to New York, but the map was empty. There was no road signs. I was just wandering. But once I gave my life to him, he started filling in the roads. He started showing me the way.
Mm.
And man, it's not, obviously life is hard sometimes and you don't always get a smooth ride and you take a detour, but he always leads you back.
Mm.
So that's kind of where we're at. And now, we got married, recently divorced a few years ago. And, when I was miserable, I was angry. So I knew that in order to relate or try to find another lady, I had to become the type of person that I wanted to be. So I
Mm.
really went through a growing period of that. And that was during the year of COVID when everything was locked down. You couldn't go see your friends. So I was miserable and alone that year, 2019, that summer. So I did a lot of growth there. And it's really, I just changed my mind. I'm going to love you. I'm going to give grace. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. I'm going to choose my battles carefully. I'm going to treat the CEO the same as I treat the housekeeper.
Mm.
Everybody deserves a smile. I want to hold your door if you're behind me and I'm going somewhere. I mean,
Yeah.
it's changed my life. A smile to someone is free for you to give, but it could be priceless to them. Why
Mm.
not do it? I mean, it's not costing me anything. So
Amen, man. It's funny, Scott, because I've known you what, maybe 18 months now, and I've only known this other you. And we connect on Twitter and on social, and had some phone calls and stuff like that. But I've only seen this guy who's like such a light and just like on fire all the time. And it really tugs at my heart to see what God can do when you hand over your life to Him and your heart, because hearing you tell those stories about the guy you were before, it's like I can't even fathom that guy. I've had 100 conversations with you, probably more now.
I'm lucky to be alive, dude. So.
Yeah, it's wild,
And it's kind of crazy. Every time we talk, I cry. So. But it's happy tears, dude. It's good,
Yeah, man, and I'm honored to know you, brother, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I think I think both you and I would agree. Faith is personal. It should be your thing. What looks like your faith won't look like mine necessarily, and whatnot. But everybody should seek their own. I think we all have this hole inside us. It's super. I tried to fill it with booze and pot and other drugs and women and all these other things, money for a long time. And that analogy you use, they all led me to dead ends. They all led me to really feel lower than I was before. And it wasn't until I sold out fully and said, God, you can have my finances, you can have the booze, you can have my thoughts, you can have my lust, you can have my everything I give to you. And once I started to do that, my life just started to go in this crazy direction that I never could have predicted before. And again, man, it's not all smooth sailing. We had poop on our walls 2 hours ago, man. We had diarrhea explosion. It's not like it's an easy life, right? But you always have that anchor, I think, to go back to, right? And that's kind of what you alluded to.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Man, let's go. Go ahead.
One of my favorite verses is 1 Corinthians 2:9. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has entered into the hearts of man, or the other versions like no mind can conceive the things that God has prepared for those who love Him. And that's not just a promise. In the past, it might have just been a promise of heaven, but that's a promise for today. That's a promise for now, the next minute, your life as you go through it. I mean, He will bless you today. Once you become a Christian, you're already in heaven. That's it. You're heaven on earth. Live it, claim it, take it. It's ours.
The victory's already there. We just got to walk into it. And that's what I don't understand. I have a hard time, man. And I hope this doesn't come off judgmental, but I sometimes want to grab a lot of my Christian friends and just shake them a bit and be like, brother, the victory's won. Like, I get it. They're telling you to be afraid of this or be afraid of that, but why are you afraid? Like, it doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters. The victory's won. I know where I'm going to be 200 years from now. If you do too, then let's just get up every day and live this gift like on fire and share it with other people and try and bring them in,
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's my heart, dude. So, and I've helped a few people on Twitter or even in life. On some of the dating sites, I'll get girls, oh, you look fit. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, I wanted to pivot into a couple other topics too, man. So I do want to hit that one is you're coaching now too, right? You've helped other men and a couple other older guys get into shape, and people can reach out to you and kind of, you can be that accountability guy for them. And can you talk a little bit about that? What that's meant to you too?
Yeah, so a few. Nothing too major. Just a few. Some in the DM. Some people I just know. Like I say, I just meet some random people. But there's a link in my bio. So if you want to get a hold of me, just shoot me an email. I'll be happy to help. And I'll do it. I'll just do it. I'm not really like I'm trying to replace an income or anything like that. I'm good. I just want to help people, man. I want to see people be able to have control of their lives a little bit better, instead of just, like me, I was so out of control and living a life wasn't conducive to like being happy and just having joy in your heart and all. So however I could help, hit me up.
I love that. We'll link everything Scott does below, guys, in the bio. Give him a follow on Twitter. Check him out. Pull up all of his stuff. Follow him. He's a fantastic follow. And it's funny, man. I'll tell, one of the stories, man. This is probably, 2 years ago. I felt our boy Ben, shout out to Ben Kaiser out there. He was asking me for some coaching. And I remember being like, Ben, I can't, everything I do. I don't even feel comfortable coaching you. And he's like, well, just help me get eyes on Twitter. And I thought, well, okay, maybe let me pray about it. I told him, let me pray about that for a few days. And so I prayed about it. And then I said, hey, Ben, I feel God tugging me and telling me, all right, I want to help some other strong Christian men grow their thing too. And I felt that tug on my heart, right? And then so I put this DM out that says, hey, if anybody else wants to grow, and you're one of the first guys to reach out. And I'll never forget hopping on a call with you. And we're both in tears 10 minutes in. And I'm asking you, well, what's your vision? Where do you want to go? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to make money? And you're like, no, man, I just want to help people. Like, I got over to this other side, and all I want to do is get other people to realize that they have more power in their life than they think, and I've just seen your heart from day one, brother. And it's, I'll see you on Twitter like, oh, I had a client for 2 months, but he fired me now, and it's the greatest thing ever because he doesn't need me. He's like lost 15 pounds and he's doing great. And that's everything, man.
That's what it's about, dude, really.
Yeah.
So, that's the end goal. I mean, you need people, at some point they're going to have to take the reins and run with it. So if there's any way I can help them get there, I mean, I'm all in it. So
I love that, man. The other fun topic we got to talk about here, brother, is this dating. This has got to be like a wild thing because, I mean, again, you're almost 60, right? And I'm trying to schedule a podcast with you, and you're like, Saturday night, man, I got a lot of options on Saturday night. I don't know, Fridays are busy with the ladies, though. So maybe we need to edit this part if multiple of your ladies are going to watch this podcast. But what's it kind of like, man? And talk about that shift kind of from getting your mind, body, and soul kind of right, and then kind of being able to attract those right partners and what that's been like.
Yeah, I mean, mostly online dating, and I've met some pretty nice women on online dating, and I've met some crazies too. So one thing that I'm opened up to now, just being confident enough to do it, is I'm open to have a phone call. You want to, you throw your number out there. We want to talk. Yeah, I'll talk to you. I've had some interesting 3-hour phone calls, dude. Some of them I can't talk about. This is a G-rated show here. But,
I keep my timeline PG at the most, man. Podcast the same.
Some of them are on dating sites and they're not ready to date. But I'll chat with them. Have phone calls with them or call them. Because some of the ladies I've met, kind of going through where I was at in 2019. Recently separated or divorced, still angry, upset, don't trust men, don't trust themselves. The first, and I tell them, the first thing you do, you need to trust yourself. I mean, you get your radars up, get your red flags out. You need to trust yourself. You got to overcome that and know who you are before you can get back into the dating scene. And so, but they're still out there on the site. So really not even wanting to date. So I'm just trying to mentor them a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I've been there. I know what it took to get me right. And it was almost a year-long process. So there's no reason to try to look for some. But, the other good thing is, I guess I'm a little attractive. So I have had some success in, getting dates and women want to meet again. So he's just trying to find somebody compatible that, with high energy, likes to do things we like to do. We don't have to do everything together, obviously. You have your life, I have mine. We're up in age a little bit, so we're still looking. We're looking. Anybody?
All right, man. Anybody? I have looked at the demographics. I think probably outside of like my mom and my wife that watch the podcast, there's like 4 other women. But if any women are out there watching this, holler at your boy Scott here.
in East Texas. Here we
go. Out in East Texas, man. Give him a shout. That's cool though, man. I'm super happy for you, and I think you'll find that mate. You'll attract that one that wants to be active, support your mission, hop right on board with you. You'll build her up, she'll build you up. It's a beautiful thing once it happens. I always joke that I thank God that he kind of saved me from where I was, because if I had met my wife a year earlier, she would have had nothing to do with me. I had to learn to love myself and heal a little bit before we hopped on together. So I'm grateful you're even helping other people get to that point, man.
Well, dating sites are really vain to begin with, because what are you going off of? A picture?
Right.
I'm supposed to like a picture. I know nothing about you. Right. But so you do, and it's not one of the scariest things I think about every time I swipe left or whatever. Well, was she the one? Was she the one?
Yeah. I don't really know if there's the one, man. I think you become the one, and then you just God will put it in there when it's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, I like that. And I can't travel 100 miles or 300 miles to come see you every weekend. So I just not having
I like that, man. Well, dude, can you give any advice? Like, I'd like to just ask for anybody out there who's maybe listening and they're like, hey, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, maybe even just 40s, but they haven't worked out in 25 years. And they think,
Yeah.
well, this is just the way it is. I guess I'm just getting older. I guess I'm just going to get diabetes. I guess I'm just going to have these problems. What would you say to somebody like that, Scott?
Well, I mean, you can change. I mean, I didn't think I could. Of course, we all work in the hospitals. There's mirrors everywhere. There's mirrors in the corner of the hallway, so you can see who's coming around the corner with a stretcher or whatever. And I just never thought I could, because I've tried in the past. Like I say, I've worked out and tried to diet over the past, but never really fully committed to the diet. Plus, there's new strategies that have come out. I guess I didn't know about IF. It's been out for a while. So, the eat 6 small meals a day. And well, that wasn't conducive to my lifestyle,
Yeah,
right? So,
man.
just try to, and I married a great cook. We had 4 kids in the house. Guess what? There's always snacks. There was a lot of food. So you just it was hard to do it at that point. So it just really had to commit, and there's so many resources out there. You can go to your website. There's so many fitness accounts out there that they give away all the secrets.
Yeah.
There really is no secrets.
It's consistent.
Track your calories,
Yeah.
watch what you eat, cut out some of the junk, be consistent with it, have a cheat every once in a while to satisfy a craving, and get back on it. And then move your body. Moving your body is huge. You can lose weight without it, but you may not like the looks when you get there. So, it's kind of a package deal. And I was just hoping to get down to like 210 maybe, and I went all the way to 180 really easily. Just being consistent and staying with it, being resilient in what I was doing, and really focused on what I was doing. And it was now this isn't a 30, 60, 90-day deal. It took me about 8 or 9 months to get there. But over that time, it turned into a lifestyle that I've maintained now for 3 years. So once you get there, it's a lot easier to stay there. So it's just getting there is going to take a little work, and you got to be really committed to it.
I love that, man. Consistency is the cheat code. And yeah, I kind of cringe when I get somebody in my DMs. Hey, man, I got a wedding coming up in 2 months. I want to get in shape for. I'm like, no, man, I'm gonna get you in shape. I got no. I don't have a 60-day fix product, man. I got a lifestyle. But it's like you said, you put in 8 or 9 pretty hard months of building those habits and consistency. Now you get to live with that for the rest of your life. It seems like such a great deal when you look at it that way. Hey, 8 or 9 months of probably a lot of discomfort, some sore days, some days you don't feel like getting out of bed. But you go do it and you get the benefits for the rest of your life. And then it is easy to maintain once you get there, to be honest.
Yeah. And proper sleep, at least 7, 8 hours, consistently go to bed around the same time. Don't blow your weekends up, which I've been known to do. Don't blow your weekends up, and just kind of stay in mode. Just don't leave that mode. And you'll get there.
That's right. And there is a community of people that want to help you. I mean, you're one of them. Reach out to Scott. I recently had a guy that now he runs my Instagram, but he told me, Michael, shout out to Michael if you're listening to this. He said, I did nothing but follow you and some of the people you follow on Twitter, and he lost 70 pounds in 1 year. Just applying. Dude, we're all just telling you, here's what you need to do every day. These are the things you got to wake up and do these things consistently, right? There's no secret sauce. There's no magic pill. It's just getting up and doing these right things every day,
That's it. I mean, that's it. I mean, it's really simple, but when you're not in it and you're looking into it, it seems difficult, but it's really not that hard. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to get a little hungry at times. There's ways, drink a cup of coffee, some sparkling water. I drink pretty much everything. I drink water and coffee pretty much. I may have a cold beer once in a while, but for the most part, it's coffee and water. I mean, and not only as an older man, and I think I put something out today, in my late 30s, 40s, married, sexual relations and stuff, you have those type of problems. One of the biggest benefits I've seen coming out on this side of it as an older, upper 50s, some of those problems go away. They can be fixed.
Just getting into shape.
Not only your internal, systems and getting off meds and cleaning up your body and getting your labs right. I mean, other things work too, and they work a lot better.
It's a shout out, man. I like that one. We'll keep it PG. You guys can use your imagination there, but yeah, the human body's kind of made to fix itself, right? To a certain point. I think your first spot shouldn't be to turn to meds, right? All the time. Now, not that meds aren't needed, obviously, a lot of times and things like that. But I think if we would just take care of our lifestyle, get daily walks in, get to the gym a few times a week, find activities you like, give a crap about what you put in your body, and just eat a little bit less,
That's right.
I think
that's right.
We'd see a 50% reduction in meds in 6 months if our society did that,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, doctors prescribe too many meds anyway, in my opinion. I don't like, I go to them if I need them, but, and I've had some ortho problems. I mean, another part of me, kind of getting out of shape, I had major shoulder surgery and neck surgery. So it took several years to actually heal from some of that, where I could actually use my arm again, but it can be overcome. I mean, that's the takeaway, right? So you can overcome. Give it time. Give it time. You got to give it time.
Yeah, I love that, man. Well, Scott, I so appreciate you coming on, man. I end every podcast what I call rapid fire. So I'm going to fire you off 5 quick questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. All right. Number 1, man, what's favorite music or podcast that you listen to, maybe on the gym or a run? Do you have one that you put on, or do you go no headphones? Are you one of those guys?
No, I love headphones. I love the music, and I'll usually take the back road on the way home, still listening to the music, because I just kind of like to keep that pump going. So I'm a hard rock guy. I like hard rock, a lot of rock ballads, like a Alter Bridge Slash. There's a rapper out there called NF. I don't know. I think he's great. So that kind of music. I'll do country too, more of a Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton kind of country. I like to listen to some of that stuff. Yeah.
Nice, man. Gotcha. So you're all over this place then, man. You got the rock, you got the rap, you got the country. You're all over the place, man. I like that. What would you say is the one book outside of the Bible that's been the most impactful in your life?
Well, I'm not a big reader, but I did read the Left Behind series. That was pretty cool. That was a great little series. I like that.
That was, man. That was really good. I like that. What's the one favorite thing or like a special memory you might have about helping someone else or coaching someone else via social media, seeing somebody's life kind of change?
Yeah, I mean, I had a guy, his name was Brent, and a few months ago, and I was working with him. He contacted me through my link on my bio, and so we chatted for a while. I got him, sent him a few workouts. He actually bought a bench press and some dumbbells because of me. Nice. And he joined the gym, and then he was doing well. We were keeping up with each other. We're talking every week. Then he eventually just hired the trainer at the gym, and that's when I got fired. So I'm like, all right, man, you're on your way, and I get that. I mean, you should, yeah. That's what it's about, right? So
that's awesome, brother.
That's fun.
I love that, man. What would you say is the best part of each day that you have, or something like when you wake up in the morning and the number one thing you look forward to each day, or the best part of your day usually?
Well, honestly, every day is the best day. I mean, just I work. I don't get mad. I'm not upset. I'm smiling. I'm having a great time, even if it's stressful. Even if something comes up, I'm going to have a good time. We're going to be all right. I'm going to smile. I'm going to try to make you smile. I mean, I'm at a really good place at 58, out of a bad marriage, trying to find a mate. Dating's kind of fun. I don't have bad days. I look every day as an opportunity to just the opportunities of the day. I've had a lot of cool things happen to me in the last few months that were totally out of the blue and unexpected. And it's leveled up some finances, leveled up a lot of things. So, man, it's just that you don't never know what's out there until you turn that corner. And be open. I told you I was open to having a phone call. I'm open to having a phone call because I don't know what's on the other end of the phone call. It could be another opportunity, right? So you just got to live every day and just look for that and see the blessings in it. I mean, you're able to be alive and well and live in this world. It could be storming, but who cares?
That's right, man. Get out an umbrella, dance.
That's right. Get outside when you get home, dancing on the deck. naked. I don't care, whatever.
That's right, man. I love that. And I always say that, even on the hardest days we ever go through, we're undefeated at getting through them, man. And every king and ruler and person of the past would give anything for that hard day again, right? There's somebody laying in a hospital bed that would give anything to get to live that day that you get to live. And so I kind of think you either have two lenses on life. You think everything's a miracle or you think nothing's a miracle. And I'm going to choose like you to think everything's a miracle, man. The fact that I get to get up and have a conversation like you and then play with my kids and then go outside and run around. It's all a miracle. It's all a gift,
It is. And I work in a hospital and I get to see the back end of the people who didn't, younger than me, a little bit older than me, my age group. And I just feel for those people. It just breaks my heart, but there is a better way. We don't have to end up that way because I was headed there. There's a road to take. There's a detour you can get on. So
I love that, brother. Thanks, man. Well, Scott, what's your future plans? Where can people find you? I know I mentioned I'll put your link below, but give us a shout out on your Twitter. I love your Twitter, man. It's one of my favorite accounts.
Well, so Tex Daddy Fit. So it used to be Tex Daddy 05. I'm a Texas daddy. We had 5 kids. We had 4, and then my wife had a daughter into the marriage. So it was 05 at some point. I changed it up. But yeah, I'm there. There's a link, kind of a little bit about myself. You can email me. You can respond to that link. I'll get back with you. DMs. I'm open to DMs. I'll take a DM. I'll reply. Do whatever I can to help you.
Nice.
Or just chat. You just want to chat and talk? Hell, I'm good.
I love that, brother, man. You're one of the best people I've ever met, Scott. And I can't wait to one day I'm gonna get to give you a big old bear hug in person, man. I'm gonna get down to Texas.
My son may be traveling to Wyoming, so on my way up there, I may have to come by.
I would love that anytime, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. I think you're just such an inspiration. You show people that no matter where you're at on this area of life, you can always pause and take that first step back, right? And create any life you want at any age you want. And kind of, your best days are ahead of you no matter where you're at. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, brother.
You too, brother. I love you, man.
I love you too, man. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to Tyrompers No Limit Podcast. This episode like 47, 48. We're not sure, somewhere around there. But thanks for tuning in. You guys go have the most blessed day of your life. Everything is a gift. Go bless up, be kind, smile, hold doors. Let's change the world one random act of kindness at a time. Have the best day, baby.
All right.